Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can make the perfect pizza dough from home, even if you've never done this before. Hey guys, Dan Muscat here from Amore Pizza Co, and in this video I'm going to be walking you through step by step on how to make the perfect pizza dough from home in your own kitchen. Check it out. Alright guys, here we are in the kitchen. How exciting. We are going to be making a big dough ball to begin with, and then we're going to be letting that prove. And then we're going to divide that one big dough ball into several pizza dough balls for further proving. And I'll explain that process as we go ahead, as we get into this video. All right, so the quantities we have here, and this is very important guys, make sure you are buying 00 pizza flour. Now, sometimes your supermarket, your local supermarket might call it pizza flour. It could be called 00 flour. It basically means is we want a high protein flour for pizza dough to really work and really taste good. All right, so what we have here, and I'm going to put all the description and this recipe down below in the description area of this video. So don't worry, you don't need to take notes. You can just copy and paste it from the description area in the YouTube video down the bottom there. So what we have here is 1500 grams of flour. So 1500 grams of flour. We have 1000 grams of lukewarm water or room temperature water. We have 30 grams of sea salt. And we have 2 grams of instant yeast. All right, so again, 1500 grams of 00 pizza flour or high protein flour, 1000 grams of room temperature water, 30 grams of sea salt, 2 grams of instant dry yeast. All right. So I've obviously already measured all of these quantities out, so we're going to get stuck in, and we're going to, first up, we're going to mix it. I'm going to show you how to add the dough, and then we're going to leave the dough and we're going to let it sit. We're going to let it prove for about an hour, and then we're going to ball it up, and then we're going to let it prove again. So as I said, we're going to explain this throughout the whole process here. All right, so I've got my trusty little Breville mixer here. So we're just going to open that up, and we are going to put the mixer bowl straight in there and lock it into place. All right, so first up, we are going to add the yeast. All right, so I'm just going to add it in there. Now what I like to do is give it a bit of a mix. So mix the dry yeast in with the flour, get it in there. That's all good. You've got to get your hands dirty, guys. It's all part of the fun. And then we're going to add our water. So let's add the water. There we go. Now we're not going to add the salt yet, okay? So we're going to turn the mixer on a slow setting here. And let it mix. Now while that's mixing, we're going to grab the salt and we're going to hang on to it here. And once we see that there's no water left mixing in the bowl, we're going to slowly add the salt. Now the reason being is we want the yeast to react with the water and the flour, all right, to create gluten. And salt is going to give it that beautiful taste. So we're going to turn that off. I'm going to lift it up there. Now you will have to get your hands dirty to get all of that extra dough off there, or if you have a little scraper, you can do that as well. So let's just do that. Get rid of as much as we can. Okay. Now I do have some extra flour here, and I'm just going to dust off. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour, and it's the same flour, it's the 00 pizza flour. And I'm just dusting the bench top here. I'm just going to move this aside and get the bowl off there, as you can see here. And now what you want to do is you just want to scoop it all out. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to add a little bit more flour over the top there, and we're going to give this dough a nice knead. Now, everyone has their own way of kneading doughs, and please, if you've got your own method, that's fine, just stick with that. I don't think you can really go wrong either way. But traditionally, I mean, not traditionally, but the way I do it is I kind of have the dough in a bit of a long, long pile, just like this, and I grab the top part and I'm just folding it over and giving a bit of a push there. And I'm doing the same thing, folding it over, giving a bit of a push. Now, if you find the dough is very sticky, like mine is, that's okay, that's exactly what you want. If it gets a little bit too hard to work with because it just keeps sticking to your hands like that, just grab a little bit more flour. Now, you've got to be careful because you don't want to dry the dough out and put too much flour on the dough, all right? You still want a bit of stickiness to work with, and you'll know if you've dried the dough out because it will just be really hard and not nice to work with. So you still want a bit of stick there, and you can see that while I'm doing this, you can see that my bench is kind of getting cleaner, if you will, like all the flour is sticking to my dough here. So once we've done this for, I don't know, let's say 5-10 minutes, let's say 5 minutes, until the dough is nice and smooth, then it's ready to sit for an hour. There's our dough, ready to be proved. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. We want to let this sit for an hour, and then we're going to come back in an hour. We're going to ball it up into each individual pizza doughs, and then we're going to let that prove again. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can either put a tea towel over the top and just let it sit there for an hour. You can put it back in the bowl, put a tea towel over the top as well, let it sit for an hour. But what I do is I grab some extra virgin olive oil and I coat the top with it. And then once I've done that, I rub the oil into the dough, just like that. All right, so this is going to prevent the dough from drying out in that hour. So I live in Queensland, the Sunshine Coast of Australia, and it's very, very humid here. So everything just dries out really fast. So, I mean, it depends where you live and your climate. However, I would still do this method. It's a fail-safe. You don't have to worry about your dough drying out through that hour period of proving. Now, I go the extra step and I will put a piece of cling wrap over the top of that. Put a bit of cling wrap just like that. And obviously the cling wrap is not going to stick to the dough because of the olive oil. This way as well. All right, so we're going to come back in an hour and see how our dough is doing. All right, guys, so it's been an hour, so let's remove the cling wrap. As you can see, it comes off really easily because we put that olive oil on prior. Okay, so what I like to do is I have a trusty little pizza scraper. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can just use a spatula. That will work as well. So I just like to loosen it up from the, just remove it kind of from the bench and just create kind of like a long sausage, if you will. All right, and then I'll just give it a bit of a dust with some of the flour, just a little bit. All right, then I have my trusty little scales here, digital scales. Now you can pick these up for like $15 from your local supermarket or hardware store, or a Big W or a Woolworths or whatever have you in your local area. So we want to work with grams. Now we're going to divide these up into each individual dough balls. So if you want a smaller pizza, so that would be probably around the 250 grams. That's what you want to be weighing them out at. If you want a 13-inch, good sized pizza, which would be, about that big, and there'll be another video where we're going to show you how to stretch a 13-inch pizza, then you probably want to be weighing them out at about 300 grams, all right? So again, I'm going to put all these details in the description of this video. So what I like to do is we will cut off a section. Let me just move this up so you can see what I'm doing here. So let's grab a section like that, and we are going to weigh it, and it's literally 297 grams. So that's close enough to 300 for me. So what we're going to do now, this is our first dough ball. We're just going to ball it up. So there's a few different techniques out there, and listen, this just works for me. All I'm simply doing is let me turn it over so maybe you can see it that way. I'm on the underside, I'm pushing the outer rim, if you will, of the dough ball in itself. So I'm kind of creating, like this. Have a look underneath there. I'm kind of folding everything in underneath, which you can't see because I've got it turned over the other way, into itself. So I'm kind of doing this. And what's happening is it's creating a nice, neat little dough ball. All right. And then what I like to do is just run it across my fingers like this a little bit. You can, you can do this on the bench, if that works for you. But basically we're just creating a nice little dough ball. And that's our first dough ball. So we're going to repeat this process through this whole one big dough ball that we created earlier, and create all of our little pizza balls. Now, I do have a fancy baker's dough tray. Now, if you don't have this, you don't need one. If you're at home, you can use like a Tupperware container, you can use a tray. There's a lot of other, trays you can use at home. So just see what you have at home, and basically all you want to do in your tray or dough tray or Tupperware container, whatever you're using, you just want to give it a nice light dust with your pizza flour, all right, because we don't want any of those dough balls to stick during the proving process. All right, we're going to grab our dough and place it neatly in the dough tray. Let me just move that over here so you can see it. As you can see, there it is there. Okay, now this one dough that we made should make about 6 to 8 pizza doughs, all right? So let's go ahead and ball the rest of these up. Just going to bring this over here. So that's 250, we just want a little bit more there. 288, 294, 300. Again, I'm just rubbing it against my hand here, just like that. I'm going to put it there. $301, it's close enough for me. So again, I'm folding it in. Okay, I'm folding it in itself underneath there. And once I'm happy with that, I'm kind of rubbing it against my hand just like this, and I'm forming that nice dough just like that. Again, you can do it on the bench. There's a lot of different techniques. I see people rolling them down like this. Pizziolas will do that. So whatever works for you. Basically, the end result is we want that nice, puffy little dough ball, okay? Again, we're gonna add it to our tray there. As you can see, we've got 3 already. Let's do another one. And we're just creating that nice dough ball. See if we've got enough for one more. We might scrape in. No, 280, that's all right. we can still use this. The pizza will just be a little bit smaller. If I was making these for my business, so we've got a pizza catering business, obviously, Amore Pizza Co, then I would definitely not use this. I would make sure it is 300 grams because we always use and we always cook 13-inch pizzas. So that one's going to be a little bit small. But as you can see, we've got 8 pizza doughs. We've got really 7 at 300 grams and we've got 1 at 270 grams. So this one's going to be slightly smaller, but that's okay. So what I usually do now is we just cover this. So if you've got a Tupperware container with a lid, then put the lid on and then put it in the fridge. If you don't have a lid for your tray, then just cover it with Glad wrap. You kind of want to seal it as much as you can. And then you want to add this, you want to put this in the fridge and let it prove for 24 to 48 to up to 72 hours. If you do let the pizza doughs prove for 72 hours, you are going to get a tastier pizza at the end of the day, and it is going to cook really nice, and it's going to have that really nice leoparding, you know, around the pizza crust. Even 48 hours, you will get the same, very similar result. If you're in a rush and you have a pizza party tomorrow, you've got guests coming over, and you know you want to cook up these awesome pizzas, then you know you can cook these the next day. There is nothing wrong with that. All right. So I'm going to let these prove for 3 days, for 72 hours. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to stretch these pizzas in another video. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to put our lid on just like that, and we're going to put this in our commercial fridge. This won't fit in a domestic fridge. We do have a commercial fridge that will put this in. However, if you have a Tupperware container, it's probably half the size of this. It will definitely fit in your fridge. You know, you can split these up in dough ball in like 4 lots on a tray. You know, cover it with Glad wrap. If you're going to cover it with Glad wrap, I would recommend putting a little bit of oil over the top, just so they don't stick. There you have it, guys. I'm going to let those doughs prove now for 72 hours, and then I will record another video once that proving process has completed, and I'll teach you guys how to stretch a pizza Napoli style. So check it out. Go ahead and have a look at the description of this video. I will add the recipe of what we covered here in this video. So all the quantities and everything that you need to know, go ahead and check that out. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified next time we upload a new video to our channel here, guys. And I hope you got value and you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.